Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to week 2 of the Diatonic Visuals This Is Life podcast. Drew Fortini here with today's conversation.
Bro.
We're going to be talking about...
Bro.
What up?
You forgot about me.
I did. You're totally right. So...
Thanks.
Let's redo that. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to week 2 of Diatonic Visuals This Is Life podcast. Here with Drew Fortini and Kate Wallen.
Thank you.
The incredible Kate Wallen. We are going to be talking about some fun games that we put together to bring you guys on today. So basically,
So I'll take over because clearly you don't know what you're saying.
You're right.
We put together a game to entertain ourselves because we just got another 30 days added onto our quarantine. So we have a list of questions we're going to bounce back and forth and answer just so we can get to know each other more and you guys can get to know us.
We gotta roll on to the intro though. Intro first before we start asking questions, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. On that note, cue the intro.
All right, guys, we want to get to know you guys as well. So if you could drop your name, age, hometown below, it'd be awesome so we can learn more about who's listening to us. I'll start first. My name is Kate. I'm 27 years old, whopping old 27. I am from Mundelein, Illinois, and I went to school up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin at a university called Lakeland University and studied exercise science there.
And I am Drew. I am 20 years old, going to be 21 in 6 days. Super hyped about that. Going to get to spend my 21st in quarantine. Having my first ever sip of alcohol, maybe a beer or something. Who knows? I'm from Libertyville, and I actually have lived here my entire life. So I went to Libertyville High School, and that's about all I've done education-wise. I kind of hopped out into the world afterwards and started this company. Went to CLC for 1 year, College of Lake County. It was not a great experience for me. School was definitely not my thing, but yeah, now we're here, and I think we should hop into some questions now.
All right. So first question for you: would you rather go bungee jumping or skydiving?
Skydiving, no doubt about it.
All right. Mustard or ketchup?
Mustard. Definitely mustard.
Interesting. Okay. Music or podcast?
That's a hard one. We're doing a podcast right now, but I'm about to say music. Music is my music. I'm going to lock it in. Lock it in music.
That's mine as well.
Is it? You think so? I mean, it's different at different times, though.
For sure. But I feel like I listen to more music than I do listen to podcasts. Like music I can play in the background where when I'm doing stuff, I feel like sometimes with podcasts, I have to sit down and listen.
That's true. All right. I'm going to go in reverse order, but I'm going to throw them back at you. Music or you already answered that one. I was about to ask you that same question. Mustard or ketchup?
Mustard for sure.
Yes. All right. Sweet. Then would you rather go bungee jumping or skydiving?
Oh, gosh. I've been both, actually.
Oh, look at you. So cool. I'm kidding. I've yet to do either, but I want to do honestly both of them.
All right, well, I'll go again.
Which one?
I'd have to say, shoot, that's hard. If I were to go again, probably bungee jumping.
Why? I'm curious.
I feel like bungee jumping was like a little more nerve-wracking for me. Like skydiving wasn't scary. It was beautiful and it was cool. It depends. If I were to go somewhere like Switzerland, for sure I would go skydiving again. But I feel like bungee jumping, like when you're skydiving, you're attached to someone and they're actually jumping for you. So I didn't get those butterflies in my stomach. I didn't have to make the decision to jump. But with bungee jumping, I liked the rush of it because you're the one actually jumping and like you have that free fall, if that makes sense. That's
thrilling. That is absolutely thrilling.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess too with bungee jumping, you're like skydiving. there's that. I mean, I've always heard about that thing where you hit a certain point and the ground starts rushing at you, but until then, it's just kind of like you're falling through space. Except bungee jumping, like you're falling right down towards some rocks or like some ravine
Mm-hmm.
below you. Like you just gotta trust that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's
That was
great.
quick though. That was quick. I liked a little bit of rapid fire there. I kind of want to slow it down though and get into something like a little bit deeper. And now all these questions, you guys have to remember that all these questions kind of, some of them are a joke and some of them are just for fun. But at the same time, we wanted to actually give you guys some questions. Like, I mean, these questions, in my opinion, are basically common questions to ask somebody if you like really want to get to know them. So the first one that I'm going to start off with that we're probably going to elaborate on a little more is, what is your greatest achievement up to this point?
Shoot. That's a very deep question. You're right. Overall, I'd probably say my greatest achievement was moving to Australia and then solo traveling after that for a bit. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's pretty incredible. That's a good
yeah,
one.
it was a big jump for me, and I think that so when I moved to Australia, I kind of went into the unknown, and what I did, we can get into this some other time, but I was an au pair, so I nannied for a family, but I never met them ahead of time. So it's like I have my life here in Mundelein, Illinois, and I've FaceTimed with this family a couple times, and then you got to make the biggest leap across the world and go live with them. You don't really know how it's going to be, but I felt like that was something I like to pride myself on because it was just a big jump for me.
That's huge. Yeah. That's definitely very difficult to do.
Yeah. How about you? What was your greatest achievement?
I mean, there's definitely different categories of achievements. I mean, I'd say the greatest one was probably, it was a really long time ago, and that's why I have a hard time saying it is my greatest achievement because I'm much older than that now. But my greatest achievement was getting my black belt. And I got my black belt in 3rd grade. Now, I think that was my greatest achievement just because I've done a lot of things over the years that have been team related. And I mean, our volleyball team in high school, we were like three years in a row. We went to like sectional games and we were losing only like few games a year. Basketball, we were doing well. But all those different achievements, they're very team related, which again, still achievements, still things that I like look at and am excited about that I accomplished. But getting my black belt was like one of those things that it was only me. And like for me, kind of what made me who I am to this day, I started doing that when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, and then ended up getting my black belt by the time I was like 12. And that's where for those years, I would say that's like I poured into that more than anything. And now I wasn't as aware of what that actually meant then as I like do now. But it's definitely, I mean, I'd say that's my greatest solo achievement, which I think is important to kind of have solo and team achievements. You'll get further with a team, in my opinion, but to be able to hold yourself accountable like that when it's only you and all the responsibility is on you, I think that definitely grew me as a person, which is why I'd say it's my greatest achievement.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, okay, I want to ask you, what made you decide to do Taekwondo?
That's a funny story.
When you were
actually.
4.
That's a funny story actually. So I was a rambunctious kid, for sure. I definitely was all over the place. So at the time, I mean, I would do every sport I could. Like my parents pushed me into a lot of things that, I mean, all parents do. Like you got to push your kid out into the world to kind of see what they excel at and whatnot. But my mom actually, she put me in martial arts at 4 years old to teach me some self-discipline. And then I liked it and kind of stuck with it and was doing it doing it until I was probably 13. And then, I mean, I've stopped since then, but I'd say a lot of the life values that I learned comes directly from everything that I learned within those years. And those are kind of like the most malleable years of a child's life. So like being a part of that, I mean, again, kind of all added up. So it wasn't necessarily a choice, but definitely something that I don't regret doing one bit.
That's so cool. I feel like you hear people doing taekwondo and things like that, especially at a young age, but it's like it's less common, you know? So it's cool that you actually followed through with it too.
Yeah.
Okay, bouncing off of, or like going off of that, what was your favorite memory? Was it taekwondo or was it something else?
Oh, favorite memory? My favorite memory is in Australia. I was in Australia in 6th grade, 7th grade. I don't remember exactly what year. But essentially, there's this organization called People to People, and they take people all over the world, and it's basically it's a leadership group. And I would say the biggest, my favorite memory definitely comes out of those trips. Just kind of, I mean, you went to Australia too. Like you probably understand going from here in the northern suburbs of Chicago to Australia. You're kind of like, wow, like this is like the beauty of the world when it's hard to, I mean, it's hard to see here. So I was young and it was kind of a hard thing to, again, all these things happened when I was younger. So it's kind of hard to like wrap my head around what it was in the moment. But again, those kind of things are kind of leading me where I'm going now, in the sense of I want to go back. I want to visit more places in the world just to kind of have those emotional memories that those things from my past like that did leave on me.
Sweet.
How about you?
Wait, question really quick. Did you?
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Did you go with your family or with this group you were saying? And how long were you there? Was it the whole school year?
No. So it ended up being a few months, I think. It was just like part of it, but essentially what we did was we started in Sydney, and it was, I mean, you can't really ask like 6th and 7th graders to do too much when it comes to physical stuff and like helping back, building homes, like that kind of thing. But what was big about that was it was like the original, we went through probably about a year of training, where it was like meetings and stuff every day, and like how to be a leader, what this means to be a part of this organization, like all of these different aspects that, I mean, again, it was all to teach, it was all to learn. And then what's cool about that program actually is they open it up. Once you go once, you're invited back to any trip that they go on now.
So you could go now?
I could if I wanted, which is kind of cool.
That's so cool.
But yeah, I mean, what was the question again? I'm terrible at remembering questions.
I just asked when you went. So, and did you go in summer or winter? Or what time of the year do you remember?
It was summer in the US, so it was winter there. But I mean, winter.
That's so crazy.
Winter, and we're still surfing. Like it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely someplace I want to go back, no doubt.
For sure, it's a good place.
Oh, yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'd have to say my favorite memory, it's kind of going to be broad. I don't have one specific one when I was trying to think a little bit about this. But I feel like my favorite memories in general have been traveling. So kind of going off like the Australia thing and solo traveling, like anytime I'm traveling, I can look back at my pictures and it fills my soul. And I think that whether it's solo or with family or friends, it's just been my favorite times here on this earth.
I get you. No, and that's a big part of like the whole lifestyle thing we're going for is that travel aspect. And there's just so many, I mean, I thought I was a photographer back then, and I was like, I got a camera for that trip, and I was like taking pictures. And now when I go look at them now, I'm like, come on, man. Like if only you know what you know now about taking pictures, like you had all this time, but just going back and kind of seeing it. And it's like to see yourself as like a little kid, or like even at any time, like even if you're looking back on pictures from a year ago, I mean, the longer it goes, in my opinion, the more kind of the less memory you have, like visual memory of kind of the place, but more of the emotions that stick around about the experiences you had. But just kind of like looking back at those pictures now, it's like everyone has an emotion attached to it. And it kind of like can bring me back for a quick second to where I was in that moment. And you're not going to like, it's hard to be traveling 24/7. It's a very difficult thing to do. So having those times to kind of take a breath and be like, I did that. Like that to me, I mean,
Exactly.
it creates great memories, like no doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna throw some rapid fire ones at you. These are gonna be kind of funny. But I'm gonna throw 3 at you real quick, and then I want you to come back at me with your 3 answers. So, all right, here we go. Pancakes or waffles? Iced coffee or hot coffee, or Coke or Pepsi?
Oh gosh. Okay. First one's definitely a trick question. I say both. But if I have to choose, probably pancakes. What was the second one? Coffee, hot or cold?
Yeah, iced coffee, hot coffee.
Depends on the day.
It does.
Like warm weather, cold weather, hot.
I would
right?
100% agree. I can't.
Okay.
You can't wake up in the morning and drink a hot cup of coffee when it's like 80 degrees outside. Like that's just not enjoyable.
Exactly, unless you're in air conditioning, but that's besides the point. Pepsi or Coke? Coke. For sure, Coke. My mom grew up drinking Pepsi. Like we had Pepsi in the house, and my dad's definitely a Coke person. So it's kind of split. Like my mom does the Diet Pepsi, and my dad does the regular Coke, and I'm a Diet Coke girl.
Okay.
So I'm like the mesh. How about you? Coke or Pepsi?
Honestly, this might upset a lot of people out there, but neither. I don't drink soda. I'll do root beer, but it's got to be a good root beer. I can't like go to McDonald's and get a root beer and be like, yes, that's delicious. I just don't like carbonation. There's something about carbonation that just, it gets I mean, and the other thing too is I haven't like drinking either enough to know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know the difference. Like when I try them, they taste exactly the same. And a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying that. So that's fine. But that's kind of my opinion on Coke and Pepsi.
All right. Pancakes or waffles?
I'd agree with you on both, but I'm going to go with waffles because I love syrup.
Why?
I love syrup.
And it builds in the little crevice.
Yes, it pools. And so you get so much more syrup per bite. Unless the pancakes are made well and it just soaks it all up. And then you're basically just eating syrup with a side of bread. Like,
that's true. That's true.
That's just my personal opinions on it.
No, I agree. I feel like that's such a hard one. I feel like I went with pancakes because we grew up having pancakes more than waffles, and they were just delicious. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna stack a pancake on top of a waffle and call it a day.
That's one way to do it. That's one way. Then you don't have to choose.
Exactly. All right. What do we want to do? A couple more rapid fire, or?
You forgot to ask me about iced coffee and hot coffee. Well, we kind of agreed on that one. That's all right. Yeah. We agreed on it because, I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't drink hot coffee on a hot day. It's
okay. Here's a question. I'll mold it a little bit. If you were to choose, like you could only have one the rest of your life, would it be hot or cold?
Oh, that's so hard. Where am I living? Like, am I living in a warm place? Am I living in a cold place? I'd probably go iced coffee.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like I don't like that.
That's so hard. I feel like I would have to choose warm because I love like a good coconut milk latte and like the froth of it. But
you're making me like, I want coffee right now. I really want coffee. Are you into like the different like presses and different ways you can make coffee? Like fancy coffee.
See, like I love fancy coffee and I love drinking it, but I don't really make it.
That's fair.
Because I feel like I don't know. I love it, but I haven't made it. Have you made it?
I mean,
like
I've
fancy
made some
versions.
I mean, not necessarily like crazy fancy. I'm a big espresso guy. I could talk coffee for hours though, because I love coffee. One of our other questions on here was tea versus coffee. I'm going to kind of, since we're talking about coffee, I'm going to jump into that one. What do you think? If
Coffee
you had
for
to choose
sure.
coffee, okay, that's fair. I agree with that. I agree with that, no doubt.
I always try tea. And I try to be a tea person, and I've bought it before, and I'm like, there's some like health benefits and stuff to it. There's definitely health benefits from coffee too, but I don't know. Tea just never sticks with me.
I agree.
I tried.
I agree. I mean, there's all those like spiritual teas you can have, and like I'm like every once in a while I'll be like, here we go, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna take this, and chakras are gonna be aligned and all this stuff, and then I take one sip and I'm like, no, like we're good, I don't need any of that aligned today. Like,
right, like let's just say I feel like I never leave a cup of coffee unfinished, but I frequently leave tea unfinished.
Agreed.
Like I'll have a few sips and be like, all right, I've had enough.
Exactly. But back to coffee. I'm a big one shot espresso guy. Like I like the coffee grinds like at the bottom. Like I want to taste the chunks of coffee at the bottom of my shot.
Interesting.
But other than that, I mean I've played around with some like different like there's like this like hourglass sort of like, it's like an hourglass shape, and it kind of stirs your coffee using like a siphon, and I don't know the exact name for it. Again, I don't.
Oh, is it like a French press? No.
I don't know. This is where people are going to get mad at us again.
They're going to be like, you idiots.
You idiots. I cannot believe you guys don't know your coffee. But we want to learn more. So here's another thing. Drop in the comments. Like if you have some really cool ways to make coffee. I've been obsessed about learning how to make coffee in like different kinds and different way. I mean, there's so many different options for coffee, and I want to learn more. Like I'm a big coffee guy. It sounds like you are too. So
I'm a big coffee guy.
if you got anything for us. So anyway, that's enough coffee talk. Let's that could be a whole nother podcast. Honestly, let's do it. We're gonna make a coffee podcast for you guys. I want to get back into a deep one. Oh gosh, should I go with that one? So we were talking earlier a little bit about before we got on and we started making this podcast, we put a little list of like questions together just to kind of go back and forth on. And now I put together some deep ones. Kay put together some fun little random ones.
Whack ones.
I'm gonna throw this at you. This was one of my deep ones. How do you define happiness? She's shaking her head at me right now.
Why you do this to me? I was saying, like, I feel like it's so hard to define happiness without using the word happy. But I kind of like thought about it a little bit before we hopped on because I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I kind of like broke it down to like the simplest thing in my mind. I feel like happiness is just like, as long as you're living in the moment and doing what suits your soul best, I feel like that's happiness, like as long as you're doing what's best for you and what fuels your soul in the moment, regardless of what that looks like to others. That's my definition. Kind of simple, but
that was, you're mad at me for asking you that, but mine is going to be way worse of an answer because I don't have a concise answer like that. Oh wow, that was impressive.
All right, roll with it.
That was impressive. So, happiness to me. The hard part is too because I agree. I mean, you just said that, and now those words are in my head because that's pretty much the same point I want to like get across with my answer. But definitely, it's definitely individual. I guess I'll just add on to like your definition. It's definitely individual by person. The things that I enjoy doing day to day aren't necessarily all going to be the things that you enjoy doing day to day. But like Kate said, it's in those moments that you kind of, it's about what is feeding your soul. And like an example for me, I think happiness, your mind can tell you you're not happy, but I kind of have this theory that your mind and your heart are two completely separate things, different entities. Like your heart feels, your head tells you what to do with those feelings. So that's where I almost personally feel that there's like there's a physical side to happiness, like the way your chest and your heart actually feel in a moment. And that's kind of do the things that feed your soul. I would say it's different for everybody, but if you think hard, there's probably one moment in your life that you felt complete bliss in a way where from head to toe, you just felt free of like stresses and problems. And everybody's going to have problems. Everybody's going to have stress. The older you get, the further into adulting you get, like it's always going to be there. But happiness to me is being able to separate yourself from that. And wherever you are, whether it's at your house, in the mountains, in a city, wherever that may be, it's your ability to be at peace with yourself for a single moment. Now, you want to the goal of happiness, who knows what that really looks like. Again, it's different for everybody, but finding a way to make those moments of complete bliss longer. And if you can, I don't know if anybody can. It's a pretty big, I would say it's a pretty big thing for anybody in life to kind of work towards. I don't think you're not going to wake up one day and be like, I'm happy. It's definitely something day to day you got to work at. But I mean, I'd say I'm gonna cut myself off there because we could probably label an entire podcast happiness and talk about it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
I agree.
I want to move to another one: leader or follower.
Okay. Oh goodness, I feel like it depends on the situation. Like, there's definitely times where I need to like put my pride aside and be a follower. I think that that's true with everything. Like, sometimes you do need to be a follower, but I would say leader, and I wouldn't say necessarily always in like the leadership, like I'm leading people way, but the fact that I feel like I tend to dance to the beat of my own drum, and like regardless of what other people think or say, like I kind of just do what floats my boat. Does that answer it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
How about you?
I think it changes over time. I was definitely, I always had the leadership abilities, like always had that mindset. But when I was younger, was like no doubt about it, a follower. I just I had a hard time getting my own personal opinions out in a conversation. I didn't want to step on other people's toes, which kind of translates into what are we doing today? And somebody else would take the lead and I'd kind of go with them, whether that be in good or bad ways. But kind of over time, it's like anything. It's a skill. You got to practice. You got to learn how to be a leader. And definitely now I would say leaning more towards the leadership side. But it's also just because of the life that I'm creating for myself. If I don't take that role, nothing gets done. Like I don't make money, and that's kind of too, like it's not necessarily always bad to be a follower. There's times in my life that I've had to watch what somebody else is doing that does it well and do it like they do it. And success is going to happen the way, like for you too. Now, I don't know where I was going with that, to be completely honest with you. So I think that's about it for that one. I mean, I would say it shifts.
Well, that has me thinking, and I know I didn't mean to cut you off, but I know you had come up with a question of what challenges you, and I think that kind of branches off of the leadership versus follower. But what challenges you the most?
There's definitely different things. I think for me, the challenges that I face are like internal, day to day. Now, there's obviously some things in life that like I want to go do. I try something and like I can't do it. So, well, there's a challenge that gets put in front of you and you got to work through it and kind of find that. But I think the biggest challenges I have day to day are sort of like the arguments with myself. Like I know there's a certain amount of things I need to do. Well, I also enjoy sitting on the couch watching a movie. I also enjoy just like laying on the floor, petting my dogs. Like that's kind of I'd say that's like a big challenge for me. Otherwise, I mean, being a creator, being a videographer, it's kind of I guess my more physical real life challenge would be trying to find creative things day to day to kind of constantly be pushing out. I mean, inspiration wise, I would say as an artist, you're constantly trying to find ways to be inspired and different things. And like as a writer too, like I would say 99% of your life, any writer could say this, you're living in writer's block. Like then you get these brief moments where it's just like, this is it. This is what I got to get down. So I'd say that's more of the real life physical challenge. And then the sort of internal challenge is just holding my own accountability, my own self-discipline, my own responsibility. Like it takes work. What about you?
I like mine kind of it's more internal, intertwined, because I feel like my biggest challenge is that I feel like I always want to make sure that other people are happy. Like I'm a very big people pleaser, and that's something I've tried to shift over time. And obviously I want other people to be happy, but I have put that over my personal happiness at times. So I feel like the challenge is finding the balance between that, because I do want people I love and care about to feel happy and feel loved and everything. But I know that I need to take time for my own self-care and everything too. So I feel like there's definitely times where I will do things for others before I do it for myself. And I feel like that's my biggest struggle.
I get you. All right. I'm going to flip it back over. I think those were pretty, I mean, I would say for the most part, that kind of explains like who we are. Obviously over the length of these podcasts, more and more is going to come out just as we keep talking. I want to do a few more random little fun ones before we wrap it up here.
Let's go.
Let's see. Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast. For dinner, every meal of the day.
Beach or pool?
Beach for sure. It was pool growing up because we don't live around great beaches, but beach.
Now, when you're putting your cups in the cabinet, do you put them right side up or upside down?
It's weird because I feel like it's kind of like how you were raised and how your parents do it.
Totally.
And my parents have always been like the cup down. So like the mouth is facing down. And it's funny, like as I've put dishes away, I feel like I've questioned this myself. Like, what's the best way to put it away? Like, if you have the mouth down, it's like least likely to tip over, and no dust is going to get in there because I don't want dust in my drink. But I feel like I'm mostly like face down, upside down, and with like the random here and there of like mugs faced up. It's weird, a weird combination. How about you?
That one. So my parents were always cup right side up, and that was fine. I did that for a very long time, and then like we got huskies, and yeah, you put the cups in the cabinet and close the doors. Well, for anybody out there that has huskies, you're eating, breathing, and sleeping hair for the entire lifetime that you have those dogs. And I picked out a glass one time, looked in the bottom. I didn't even look in the bottom right away. I filled it up with water, and then I looked in it and realized I had a clump of hair in it. And that was the last day in my life that I had ever put a glass right side up. Every single time, glass down.
Just changed you.
It changed me forever. It was just, it was a rough thing to think about, for sure.
It's something you don't really think about, but beach or pool?
Beach. I mean, again, same thing as you, raised around pools. I'll go to a pool any day of the week versus not going to a pool. But if I could have a beach and an ocean, I would add ocean to that part. I mean, there's beaches around here, but even going into Lake Michigan, it's not, the stuff is cold half the year. But
For
yeah, I'd say
sure.
beach.
Okay, breakfast or dinner?
I'm a dinner guy. I'm a
Really?
big dinner guy. Breakfast.
What?
Breakfast. I love breakfast. Like I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I love to eat. Like I love to eat any meal. But dinner, it kind of like you've been awake. Like usually for me, it's like you work hard for the day, and I'll push myself pretty long. Like after lunch, and we'll eat dinner late. So it's probably like the time I'm the most hungry in the day. So whatever gets made,
Yeah.
the biggest smile on my face, no doubt.
Are you the type of person that eats breakfast every morning, or do you skip it mostly?
I try to eat it every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wake up with like a bunch of stuff on my mind that I want to get done, and I hop right in. I get my cup of coffee and I hop right into it. And then that coffee, just because the stimulant caffeine does what it does, like I could hold myself off till noon, 1 o'clock, and then eat lunch and then have dinner at like 7 or 8. Not that that's always right, but
I was
that's
going
kind
to
of
say
what I
that's
do.
impressive. I don't know about you guys, but I mostly have breakfast every single morning, and I'm like the type of person that I will wake up sometimes feeling nauseous, like I need to eat now, otherwise I can't do anything.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes though I'll wake up nauseous like that, and like I need to eat. It's my body screaming at me to eat. But then I drink some coffee and now my mind's off to the races, and it's like, screw it, don't need it. And then I'll just kind of, but then I start to get like really like moody. Like there's a certain point where I can push it till, but then it's a flip of a switch, and you do not want to be in the same room with me until I get my food. Like it's funny.
Hangry.
So like definition Snickers commercial.
That's
You're
awesome.
not you
You should
when
make
you're
your
hungry.
own.
I should.
All right. Summer or winter?
Summer. Oh,
Same.
when my skin is tan and not pasty, I am a much happier being.
Same. I just love the sunshine. Like even during winter, I find myself, on those days that are like cold, but they're sunny out,
Yeah.
and it's sunny enough to the point where you get in your car and it's warm. I will sit in my car for an hour just sitting there because it feels warm, and I'm like, this is the closest thing I'm going to get to summer right now. So definitely right there with you on summer.
Phone call or text?
Phone call. I feel
Definitely
like
phone call.
I feel like I feel like a lot of emotions and reactions get lost or translated in texts. And
Yes.
I don't know. To be honest, I'm not a great texter. Like people who know me, you probably know this by now. I will be on my phone for a few minutes and then I put it down and I'm off of it. But I feel like I can get a more efficient conversation, a real genuine conversation on the phone versus text.
Exactly. No, I agree. I mean, I can text, but I'm also a very sarcastic person. And that with people that don't know that never ends well. It's never a good thing over text. So that's why I'll pick up the phone and call somebody before I text them something that's sarcastic.
Yeah.
You got any other like random. Okay, so in the actual document that we're reading from right now, Kate typed, quote unquote, random fun little ones. I love it. I love it. Random fun little questions for us.
Okay, I have a couple more. Let's do it. Let's just finish it off since we have a couple left.
Okay.
All right. One, do you like peanut butter?
Yes.
Okay, thank goodness, because I put this question in here. Crunchy or creamy peanut butter? This is a very important question.
This is very important. I'm a little nervous answering it. You're going to hate me after this. I'm going to go with creamy.
Okay. I will say, I'm the biggest, I was going to say hugest. I'm the hugest peanut butter fanatic ever. But so I don't discriminate. Like any peanut butter is great peanut butter to me. But if I had to choose, I would go with creamy.
Okay.
So
okay.
I don't hate anybody for their answer, but I do it's just like an important question to me. I need to know.
At first when I said creamy, you started to go into that right away, and I was like, oh God, she likes crunchy.
Well, I do, but I love creamy too.
That's
all
fair.
right.
I think I'm gonna continue on crunchy for a sec. Yeah. Crunchy for me, when you eat like a like a steak or something that has a like bone in it. And it's
Mhm.
like you're having this nice chewy thing, then all of a sudden like bone. And it's like, I mean, now the bones are painful, like versus crunchy peanut butter. But I kind of get that same sort of like thing in my head. Like I get nervous to bite the actual peanuts.
Wait, okay. This is gonna be a little side story, but can I tell it really quick?
Yeah, do it. Do it. We got
Okay,
time.
when you're talking about meat and bones, so when I was younger, I had a loose tooth, and it was like this is like one of the first teeth I lost. But my family we were having burgers for dinner, and so I'm like, it's one of I think it was like my front top big tooth, right? And I bite into a burger and I start chewing, and this tooth had been loose for a long time. It was like it's time to go, and all of a sudden. I didn't realize that it fell out when I was eating the burger, and I bit down on it, and I was like, Dad, I was like, there's bone in my burger. What the heck? And they're like, what are you talking about? It was just like this confusion.
That just made me cringe. Like I felt the chill go down my back. That sounds miserable.
Yes. And I picked it out of my mouth, and I'm like, look, there's a bone. And I didn't even realize it was my tooth at that point. Like I held it out to them, and then they looked there. They even grabbed my tooth, and they were like, they knew it was like bone, but they're like, what the heck? And then all of a sudden I felt that I was missing my tooth, and they're like,
oh, no way.
Kate, it's your tooth. You schmuck.
Oh, that's an awesome story.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it.
I'm gonna my first tooth story. I'm young for like the grade I was in. So like everybody started losing their teeth first. And I'm so competitive with everything. And I'm like, watch this, guys. I'm going to get my teeth out first. So my first tooth that I lost, I woke up in the morning. It was not loose. By the end of the day, no tooth in my mouth. And it was one of my front ones. I like sat there, like just trying to get that thing out like all day. And I got it.
Yeah. I know I've like, there's a lot of things I've been impressed with, but that's determination right there. Another like weird one is a tooth thing. I'm same exact thing, competitive. Like everybody was losing their teeth before me. And so my teacher, what she did is, you know how they put stuff up in the room? She had like a tooth with everybody's name on it for each person around our room. And she would ask every morning if anybody lost a tooth. And I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm the only one who's not lost a tooth. And it got to the point where she's like, all right, did anybody lose a tooth today? And I like look around the room, slowly raise my hand. And she's like, okay, like, where'd you lose it? And I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, I was like, I can pull this off, right? So I told her, I like pulled my mouth back, and I was like, it's this last one that I could hear. It was like, you know, when your like molars don't come in yet. And she looked at me, like looking back, she looked at me the way it was like, that's not a thing, but she gave me a sticker anyways. And so when it came to like parent teacher conferences, and we like brought our parents in and we went in with them, they were looking around the room, and my parents were like, oh, what's this? And they started asking questions. And I was like, oh, that's for when people lose their teeth. And they're like, well, why do you have a sticker? I'm like, because I lost my tooth. And they're like, which one? I'm like, this one. And that did not end very well. I feel like I remember myself kind of running off and avoiding that topic, but I think they just let me have that one.
Well, same situation. They make that stuff so competitive.
They do.
And I was like, no, my name. We had like a different system, and I was like, I think you know those big charts, and they had like a bunch of lines going down them, and like all the names, and you got stickers all the way down. You'd have some people with like, yeah, like good, like, I mean, you'd have one for like, if you were good that day, like we had one for like losing teeth. And like, I mean, I wasn't very good like day to day. So I had no stickers there. I had no stickers on the teeth. I'm like, I am done. Like that was an emotional damaging time of my life. Like
they start the competitiveness early. And then when we get older, they're like, your life, you're only, what do they say? Like they build these problems, right? And now they're like, don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah. They're like,
it's a competition.
Only the best grades are going to get into school. Only the top people on this team are going to win this team. Only this, only that. But just be you. Just be you, and just love yourself every day. And I think society definitely has a messed up way to teach you to love yourself, which I think was why everybody at certain points come full circle. has to put in that work for themselves to find like what it is. Like, I mean, again, some people are born with glass half full chemicals and everything that keeps, I mean, some people don't even think about it, and that's fine. But then there's the other 50% of us that are like, well, what is this all about?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We went a little off topic there, but that was fun. I enjoyed that.
That's okay. Should we end it with one more? I think we only have one more left.
Yeah, I think so.
We have two, but I'm just going to pick the simpler one.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Last question. Cookies or chips?
Cookies. No.
Oh,
no
me
doubt.
too.
No doubt. You put a bag of chips or like, in my opinion, are you crazy? Like, why would you pick chips? Why?
You know, it's crazy. Like, I know people, like, even my sister, she's probably definitely, she says, like, she could eat a whole bag of chips, but if she had, like, a cookie, she'd probably have a bite of it or turn it down. And I'm, like, the exact opposite. I'm like, I have a sweet tooth. The more cookies, the better. Give them all to me. I'd probably pick cookies over chips.
You know those Jewel cookies, those Jewel Osco cookies in the purple bags?
Are they the chocolate chip ones?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God. You put a bag of those in front of me, I will devour the whole thing and take about a 3-hour nap. Don't mess with me when you put a bag of those in front of me. That's my time to be me.
Leave me alone.
And if you're looking for a birthday gift for me, I like Jewel Osco cookies.
Okay, you have to try these though, because they're from Whole Foods and I had never heard of them, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go through the little bakery section, and they had this little container, and they're called brown butter cookies, brown butter chocolate chip cookies. Have you ever had those or heard of them?
I have not, but that sounds so good.
If you guys are any of you ever in a Whole Foods and you see brown butter cookies, probably the best cookies I've ever had in my life. Like, they're pretty big. There's like 4 in a container. I think I literally had to hold myself back from eating all 4. I brought one home for my brother. Like, I ate them on the car ride home. And they're like 400, 500 calories each, but so worth it. And they like the chocolate on them is like, they're not necessarily warm, but like the chocolate's like halfway melted already. I'm like,
oh wow. Incredible.
I can't even explain it.
My mouth is currently watering.
No, same. That's why I have to stop talking.
Oh man, I'm about to break my quarantine to go get some of those. Wow. All right, so coming full circle, I think that's kind of all we got for today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Again, if you guys got any feedback, if you guys got anything you want to hear us talk about, throw it in the comments. Like, we're still learning how to do this too, so it's not necessarily set in stone as to what we're doing. Probably gonna have some, hopefully here, and I'm gonna put this on you, Kate. I want to see if you're making that food tonight, right?
Yeah.
For that competition. Okay, so Kate and her family and a bunch of friends, they have this competition that she just told me about, where they cook some food and they all get on FaceTime, and it's like a game show sort of a deal that they're like working on. But I want you to film that tonight. I want you to film that, and I'll put it together. And in a few weeks, not even a few weeks, give me a few days, and coming to Diatonic Visuals YouTube near you.
Oh goodness. Okay, I'll do it.
I just put it on the spot right there.
Bear with me, everybody. But
hey, that is totally fine. And go check out our other socials at Diatonic Visuals. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. Our website is dacvisuals.com. We've got some photographs and videography and stuff for sale on there. If you guys want to buy anything, go on there, check it out. Kate, you want to throw in your Instagram handle?
Oh, my Instagram. All right, don't laugh, guys. It's at kitty cat meow meow. So it's KITTYKATMEOWMEOWW. So that's my Instagram. What's yours?
Mine is AN_14E. My name's Andrew Fortini, so 14E. Hey, you see what I did there?
Oh, I
Hey.
never even noticed that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
That's awesome.
that's what you guys can go check out. Thanks for listening
Thank
and
you.
watching, because we're a videography company as well. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
See you later.